Have you ever wondered how some founders consistently make fast, high quality decisions, giving them an insane advantage? It's not luck. They are following a decision making system originally developed for fighter pilots operating under extreme pressure. In this video, I'm going to show you what this system is and, more importantly, how you can use it to shoot your competition down. I was taught this when I went through Reserve Officer Candidate School, and I've successfully applied it to my business decisions ever since. The system is called the OODA loop, developed by Colonel John Boyd to help agility consistently outperform raw power. So, OODA loop consists of four critical stages of decision making. The first is observe. You have to see the reality of the situation clearly. You collect raw, real-time data about you and your opponent. You assess the environment without emotion and assumptions, just pure facts. On the battlefield, you observe your position, the enemy's position, the terrain, how much ammunition you have, and so on. In business, you do exactly the same thing. You study your position and assets, like your team and finances. You study your opponent's position, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and how the market is shifting. You study all the available relevant metrics and numbers. It's extremely important that you don't jump to conclusions here, only facts. Then you move on to step 2, Orient. Only now do you start analyzing and synthesizing the data you've gathered. You are trying to answer one question: what's really going on here? You have to use both your knowledge and experience to recognize pattern, assess threats, and build context. In the army, imagine a squad under gunfire from multiple directions. A squad leader orients by analyzing: is this a full ambush or probing attack? Where is the main threat axis? And should his squad push through or retreat? In the business setting, let's say your customer acquisition cost jumps 40%. So you analyze whether it's due to a creative fatigue, audience saturation, or perhaps seasonality. Orientation is always the hardest step because you rarely have complete information. There's always a piece or two missing. That's why experience plays a critical role here. It helps you to fill the gaps in information with intelligent assumptions and move towards a decision much faster. Now that you have found out the answer to the question, what's really going on here, it's time to decide. In the military, the squad leader under attack has observed that he is under an L-shaped ambush. Based on firepower, the enemy is probably a platoon-sized unit, so 3 times bigger than his unit. And the terrain allows him to lead his troops to relative safety. So he decides to roll back, and it's the right call. In business, you observe that your ad creatives are fresh and demand should be high, but based on data, your audience is close to saturation. So you may decide to explore expanding the region of your audience to make the potential customer pool bigger. The final step is act, where you put your decision into action. Just like the squad leader starts to shout out orders for his troops to perform a organized fallback, you as a business leader ask your marketing team to make the necessary changes in the ads manager. Here's the part most people miss. Your enemy or opponent runs the OODA loop too, and the winner is usually the one who manages to do it faster. This allows you to be a step ahead, and this usually makes all the difference. But here's the critical part. What if your opponent makes a surprising move? It might have been a mistake, or it might have been a genius move you didn't anticipate. Either way, you have to restart the OODA loop because the reality of the situation has changed. It might hide new opportunities and new threats. The OODA loop is a game changer. But if you make the following mistake, you'll give up this advantage completely. This mistake is what both military and civilian leaders make all the time, and it nullifies the system. If you think that OODA loop is something you apply once in a specific process, you are mistaken, because once you complete it and act, you've already changed the situation and need to start the OODA loop again. Just as our squad leader, who has sparked out orders to retreat and sees his troops moving. This changed the situation. Maybe one of his men gets injured, or the small hill he hoped to reach doesn't provide enough cover, or the entrepreneur who expanded the regional coverage of his target group in Ads Manager sees that instead of the customer acquisition costs going down, they increase. To make the OODA loop work for you, you must immediately restart it after every action. You have to go into observe mode again to see how your action changed the environment. You have to think of it as not a tool, but as your brain's default operating mode. But OODA loop is not a one-size-fits-all system. Leaders react to threat and failure very differently. This comes down to personality types, A, B, C, or a mixed profile. I created a short assessment that identifies your founder's stress pattern and shows you the recovery strategy that fits it. Knowing this allows you to benefit from OODA loop so much more effectively. You'll find it in the description below. It's free and it only takes 3 minutes to complete.